Welcome to the Compliance Requirements session. Understanding compliance helps keep your BTP applications secure. This means following legal and security rules prevents data breaches and unauthorized access. For example, an app handling European user data must comply with GDPR, ensuring personal information is properly protected. Adhering to these standards maintains your application's integrity and trust. Compliance means following rules and standards for data protection. This means your systems must handle personal or sensitive information securely as required by laws. For example, in healthcare, patient records must be encrypted and accessible only to authorized staff. Adhering to these standards builds trust and avoids legal penalties. We will learn about common standards and how BTP meets them. This means understanding security and privacy rules and how BTP is built to follow them. For example, BTP helps a bank protect customer data according to GDPR. So, you will see how BTP ensures your solutions are compliant by design. This knowledge helps you build trustworthy applications. It means understanding compliance rules ensures your apps handle data legally and ethically. For example, a retail app using SAP BTP would properly encrypt customer payment details to meet PCI DSS standards. Following these practices makes users confident in your solutions. Compliance standards are mandatory rules for enterprise operations. Compliance standards are rules for handling data safely. This means they provide specific guidelines to protect sensitive information from misuse or unauthorized access. For example, in healthcare, patient records must be encrypted and only accessible to authorized personnel. Following these rules ensures data integrity and builds trust. They protect personal information and business data. This means rules are in place to keep sensitive details safe from unauthorized access or misuse. For example, a retail company must securely handle customer payment information during online transactions. Adhering to these standards is essential for maintaining trust and operational integrity. Different industries have different standards. This means the rules for data security and privacy vary by sector. For example, healthcare must follow HIPAA to protect patient records, while retail does not. Each industry must adopt the specific standards that govern its operations to ensure legal and secure practices. Following standards builds trust with your customers. This means consistently meeting recognized rules for security and quality, which assures clients their data is safe and your services are reliable. For example, adhering to ISO 27001 for information security shows customers you protect their sensitive information. This commitment is fundamental to establishing and maintaining long-term customer confidence. Common compliance standards you will encounter. GDPR protects personal data in Europe. This regulation gives individuals control over their personal information and requires businesses to handle it securely. For example, if a European customer asks a company to delete their account and all associated data, the company must comply. Adhering to GDPR is essential for any business operating in or serving the European market. SOC ensures secure business operations. This means an independent auditor verifies that a company's controls and processes for security, availability, and confidentiality are properly designed and effective. For example, a bank using BTP would have its customer data handling procedures rigorously checked. Adhering to SOC standards is fundamental for building trust with your clients and partners. ISO International Quality and Security Standards. These are globally recognized benchmarks for consistent quality, safety, and security in processes and services. For instance, an application handling customer data would use ISO standards to ensure its security measures are robust and reliable. Adhering to these standards builds trust and demonstrates a commitment to operational excellence. These are the most common standards for BTP applications. This means BTP follows global rules for security and privacy to keep data safe. For example, a banking app on BTP must meet GDPR to protect customer information. Adhering to these ensures your applications are trusted and legally compliant. BTP's comprehensive compliance certifications. BTP has already achieved many compliance certifications. This means independent auditors have verified its security and privacy controls meet strict global standards. For example, a healthcare company can store patient data on BTP knowing it complies with HIPAA regulations. This ensures your solutions are built on a trusted, certified platform. This means SAP has verified BTP meets these standards. Essentially, SAP has independently checked and confirmed that BTP follows strict security and legal rules. For instance, a healthcare company can use BTP to handle patient data, knowing it complies with regulations like HIPAA. This verification ensures your solutions are built on a trustworthy and secure platform. You benefit from these certifications automatically. This means when you use BTP, you do not need to apply for or manage these certifications yourself. They are inherently part of the platform. For instance, if you build an app on BTP, it already meets strict data privacy standards. This built-in compliance saves you significant time and effort. We will show you where to find this information. This means guiding you to SAP's official documentation portals where all compliance certificates are publicly listed. For example, when a healthcare company needs HIPAA compliance proof, they access the SAP Trust Center website. Always verify certifications directly through these authorized sources. Finding BTP compliance information. Open the BTP cockpit in your browser. This means accessing the central web interface where you manage all your BTP services and settings. For example, you navigate to the cockpit URL to check your system's security certifications. This direct access is your first step to verifying compliance. Navigate to the Security section. This is where you locate all compliance-related documents for SAP BTP. For instance, if you need to confirm BTP meets GDPR standards, you would go here to find the relevant audit reports and certifications. This ensures you can quickly verify and trust the platform's security posture. Look for compliance or certifications. This means checking official SAP documentation or your BTP cockpit for these specific terms, which detail adherence to legal and security standards. For instance, a company handling EU data would verify GDPR compliance certifications listed there. This ensures your usage aligns with necessary regulatory requirements. Here you will see all current certifications. This means you can view every official compliance standard BTP meets, like security or data privacy. For example, a healthcare company could verify BTP has HIPAA compliance before storing patient data. This gives you confidence in BTP's adherence to regulations. Mapping requirements to security controls. Each compliance standard has specific requirements. This means different regulations like GDPR or HIPAA have unique rules you must follow. For example, GDPR requires data encryption, while HIPAA focuses on patient data access logs. Always identify and apply the exact controls mandated by each standard to ensure compliance. BTP provides security controls to meet these requirements. This means BTP has built-in security features to protect your applications and data. For example, to control user access, you can use the Identity Authentication Service to manage logins and permissions. This ensures your security needs are directly addressed by the platform's capabilities. We match requirements with available security features. This means aligning your specific security needs with the tools SAP BTP provides. For instance, if you need to protect user data, you would implement data encryption services. This direct mapping ensures your applications are built securely from the ground up. This ensures your application meets the standards. This means your app is built with required security features from the start. For example, if your app handles personal data, you would implement data encryption to meet privacy regulations. Following this process protects your data and builds user trust. GDPR requirements for enterprise compliance. GDPR requires data protection and privacy. This means any personal data from EU citizens must be securely handled and its usage clearly explained. For instance, an e-commerce site must obtain explicit consent before using customer data for marketing. Adhering to these rules is essential for legal compliance and maintaining customer trust. BTP provides encryption for data security. This means your data is scrambled into unreadable code, accessible only with a specific key. For example, customer names in a cloud database are automatically encrypted, preventing unauthorized access. This built-in protection ensures your sensitive information remains secure and private by default. Access controls ensure only authorized users see data. This means systems verify who you are and what you are allowed to view before showing any information. For example, in a company's HR app, a regular employee cannot access payroll details, which are restricted to the HR manager. This is a fundamental security measure to protect sensitive information from unauthorized access. Audit trails track who accessed what data. This means systems automatically log every time someone views or changes sensitive information. For example, if an HR employee checks a colleague's salary record, this action is recorded with their name and timestamp. This creates accountability and helps organizations demonstrate compliance during regulatory reviews. Accessing compliance documentation. BTP provides detailed compliance documentation. This means you get clear, official records proving BTP meets legal and security standards. For example, a healthcare company can download BTP's SOC 2 report to verify data protection for patient information. This readily available documentation simplifies your own compliance audits. Go to the SAP Help portal for BTP. This is the official online library where you can find all the detailed compliance documents for the platform. For instance, if you need to check data privacy compliance for your application, you can search for the relevant guides there. This ensures you always have the correct and latest information at your fingertips. Search for compliance or specific standards. This means using keywords in the SAP BTP cockpit to find official documents on regulations. For example, type GDPR to locate the General Data Protection Regulation compliance documentation. This direct approach ensures you quickly access the necessary legal and security information for your projects. Download certificates and reports as needed. This means you can retrieve official compliance documents from SAP BTP anytime. For example, if an auditor requests proof of data encryption, you simply download the relevant certificate. Keeping these documents accessible ensures you are always prepared for compliance checks. Step-by-step finding documentation. Open SAP Help Portal in your browser. This means launching your web browser and going directly to the SAP Help Portal website. For example, just like you'd open a new tab to search for a recipe online. This is your starting point to access all official SAP guides and documentation. Select SAP Business Technology Platform. This means choosing the main BTP area from SAP's documentation homepage. For example, if you are looking for help on building an app, you start here to access all relevant guides. This first step ensures you find the precise information needed for your project. Type compliance in the search box. This means entering that exact word to filter documentation specifically about compliance topics. For instance, if you need to ensure your data handling meets legal standards, searching compliance will quickly direct you to relevant guides. This straightforward step efficiently narrows down the information you need. Browse the available documents and certificates. This means exploring all the official SAP resources to find guides, manuals, and compliance proofs. For example, when learning about a new service, you would first search the SAP Help Portal for its specific administration guide. This initial step ensures you are working with verified and accurate information from the start. Understanding audit trails in enterprise systems. Audit trails record system activities. This means they automatically log actions taken in the system, like who did what and when. For example, when a user changes a customer's credit limit, the audit trail captures that event. This creates a reliable history for accountability and review. They show who did what and when. This means an audit trail records the specific user, the exact action they performed, and the precise time it happened. For example, if a user changes a sales order quantity, it logs their name, the change made, and the timestamp. This creates a reliable, unchangeable history of all system activities. Important for proving compliance during audits. This means having clear records to show regulators that your systems and processes follow legal and internal rules. For instance, if a financial report is questioned, you can trace every change back to the user and timestamp. This documented proof is essential for successfully passing official reviews. BTP automatically maintains audit logs. This means all security-related activities are continuously recorded without manual effort. For instance, when a developer creates a new user, that action is logged with details like who did it and when. This built-in tracking ensures accountability and simplifies compliance. Basic compliance monitoring. Regularly check your compliance status. This means routinely verifying that your SAP BTP usage follows internal and external rules. For example, you might run a monthly report to ensure all data is stored in the correct geographical region. Consistent monitoring helps you proactively address any issues. Monitor for new standards or updates. This means you must regularly check for any new legal or security rules that affect your SAP systems. For example, a new data privacy law might require you to change how you handle customer information. Staying current ensures your applications remain compliant and secure. Review audit logs periodically. This means regularly checking system records that track user activities and system changes. For example, each Friday your team verifies who accessed sensitive financial data that week. Consistently monitoring these logs helps detect potential issues early and maintains your security posture. Stay informed about BTP compliance updates. This means actively checking for new rules or changes in BTP services to ensure your solutions meet legal and security standards. For example, if data privacy laws change, you must verify your BTP applications still comply. Regularly monitoring these updates helps you avoid violations and maintain secure operations. Bringing all components together for a unified solution. BTP handles most compliance requirements for you. This means the platform is pre-configured with security standards and certifications, so you do not need to build them yourself. For instance, when storing customer data, BTP automatically applies GDPR-compliant data protection measures. This built-in compliance allows you to focus on developing your applications with confidence. You need to configure security controls properly. This means setting up rules and tools to protect your applications and data from unauthorized access. For example, in a customer portal, you would restrict users so they can only view their own orders and not others. Proper configuration is essential for maintaining trust and compliance in your solutions. Regular monitoring ensures ongoing compliance. This means continuously checking your SAP BTP services to confirm they meet security and data rules. For example, you might run weekly reports to verify that data residency requirements are being followed. This proactive approach helps prevent costly violations and maintains system integrity. Documentation is always available when needed. This means you can instantly access help guides, tutorials, and troubleshooting steps without delay. For example, if you encounter an error while building an app, you can immediately search the official SAP Help portal for a solution. This reliable access empowers you to solve problems efficiently and continue your work. You are ready for compliance. You now understand basic compliance concepts. This means you know how to follow important rules and laws for data and business processes. For example, a company must protect customer data according to privacy laws like GDPR. This foundational knowledge allows you to apply these principles directly within SAP BTP solutions. You know where to find BTP compliance information. This means you can locate official documents detailing how BTP meets legal and security standards. For instance, before storing customer data, You check the SAP Trust Center for compliance certifications like ISO 27001. This knowledge ensures your solutions are always built on a trustworthy foundation. You can map requirements to security controls. This means linking each compliance rule to specific technical safeguards in SAP BTP. For example, a data privacy rule requiring encryption is mapped directly to activating the data encryption service. This systematic approach ensures your cloud applications meet all necessary standards. You are prepared to build compliant applications. This means your apps can automatically follow legal rules like data privacy. For example, an HR app could restrict access to employee data based on roles, ensuring only authorized personnel see sensitive information. This built-in capability makes developing secure and lawful solutions straightforward.